two-time MVP. He's a defensive player of the year. He's an all-NBA player. He's going to get the lion's share of the blame. And his legacy is going to take a huge hit. Now, Skip, he can redeem himself because we've seen guys struggle early on. We saw LeBron James go a decade without winning a title before he won it and changed the way people think. We saw Kevin Durant, the same thing, lose early on. There have been very few superstars that come in the league and win right away, Skip. You know, you get Magic Johnson coming straight out of college off an NCAA title, and everybody's like, well, that's how it's supposed to happen. You get Larry Bird winning a title in his first, Larry won 3 in his first 7 years, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's how it happens. No. You look at Mike. It wasn't until 91 that Mike won after his first 7 years in the league. But, Skip, and even though these guys, Mike lost, Skip, to go out like this, I'm not surprised the Nets won the first 2 games, Skip. I'm really not, because I understand the firepower that they possess. Even James Harden, without James Harden being there, Kyrie and KD is as skilled perimeter players as we have in the league. So I'm not surprised that they beat the Bucks. But the ease in which they're doing it, I'm shocked. At one point in time, being down by damn near 50, no, you can't do, not the playoff game, Skip. And when you got Holiday and you got Middleton and you got Giannis, guys that have been to the All-Star game, guys that have been All-NBA players, and they can defend like they can defend. And to be losing like this, Blake Griffin is out playing Giannis. Blake Griffin is out playing it.
It's a fact.
So you can't have this. This is unacceptable. Giannis, bro, you gonna have to go back to the drawing board. You're gonna have to be able to shoot. You have to be able to shoot the ball better than what you're shooting it. I mean, from the free throw line, from the mid-range, forget the 3. Maybe he's never gonna be a great 3-point shooter, Skip. And that's okay, because there've been a lot of great guys that have great careers without shooting the 3. But I don't really know if he's ever going to reach his maximum potential if he can't consistently knock down 15-footers, if he can't consistently knock down foul shots. Skip, he got to be 70, at least 70%, 2 or 10.
So who wins tonight?
You know what, Skip? I'm gonna ride with the Bucks one more time. I'm gonna ride with them one more time. It's hard for me to believe that a team that have the offensive players that they have is going to go down 0-3, and especially without a fight. So I'm going to take them in a close ball game.
I've been driving the Nets bandwagon all year, and I'm going to just continue to drive it right on to Milwaukee and right over the top of Giannis and company in Game 3 and Game 4. And I think this is going to be over quickly because I think they're going to get swept.
Wow.
So what do I see with Giannis's Bucks? You know, I have respect for his ability. Obviously, during the regular season, he is the PER prince of the league, and he is a back-to-back MVP winner. And I take none of that away. But when it comes playoff time, what do I see happen? I don't see a team or a superstar with what I would call playoff backbone. Because look at what the recurring pattern here has been. Look, go back to the first year Giannis and company make the playoffs, 2015. They lose in the first round of the Bulls. Average margin of defeat was 21 points. So when they lost, they got crushed. And then it's the Raptors the next year. They lose in 6. Average margin of defeat was 11. So it wasn't too bad, but still 11. You're getting double-digit beaten when you get beat. Celtics in 7 in 2018. Average margin of defeat was 10. Then we go to 2019. So we look, they sweep the Pistons. When they have the advantage, the physical advantage, they just dominate. He can dominate the way nobody in this league can dominate. They sweep them by an average margin of 24 points a game. Then they beat the Celtics in 5 in the next round. This is 2019. Average margin of win is 16. But then they run into Toronto, and they lose 4. They win the first 2, and then they lose 4 in a row by an average margin of defeat of 9. So when they crumble, they just fall all apart, right? And then last year in the bubble, what did they do? Well, they beat the Magic in the first round. Average margin of victory was 15, so they're just crushing them. And then they run into Miami. And Miami beats them in 5, but in the 4 losses, they lose by an average of 9 points. And then we see it again this year. First round, what did they do? Well, they swept the Heat this year by an average margin of victory of 21 a game. Swept them. And now they've lost back-to-back games at Brooklyn by an average of 24 points. So if they have the edge, they can front run on you and just dominate you and crush you. But if they start off wrong, they don't have like a reservoir of toughness where they reach down and say, no, not tonight. We're going to fight back. They don't fight back.
Skip, if you look at what they did against the Heat, they shot the three really well.
Yeah.
But Skip, the advantage that they have, if you think about it, the Nets are a small team. They don't play a true big.
Well, I mean, DeAndre Jordan is DNP City.
Yeah.
He just doesn't play anymore.
And Claxton comes in.
He's okay. I think he's okay. I don't know.
You can't. Blake, look.
Nicholas Claxton.
You can't let Blake.
He is 6'11".
Giannis, you cannot let Blake Griffin take you one-on-one.
I agree. Yeah.
You can't.
And by the way, I got to say this. Speaking of Blake, I've watched him so closely since his 2 years at the University of Oklahoma. I have never seen a player transform himself through his career the way Blake has. Never have I seen it. It reminds me of what George Foreman did in boxing, because remember early on, he's this glowering, menacing bully, right? This intimidator who just terrifies people and doesn't even speak to the media. And the next thing I know...
Everybody hated him, and then everybody loved him.
Then he becomes the most beloved boxer.
He's doing every commercial. He's doing Meineke. He got the George Foreman grill, Skip. He's selling everything.
He's selling grills. And he's something. He's like the sweetest man that ever boxed, right?
Skip, you know what happened with Blake? Expectations change.
Well,
you see, when you get a max contract with the Clippers, you're the savior. You get a max contract with Detroit, you're the savior. Now you're the fourth option. You're the third or fourth option. You let Kyrie, you let Harden, you let KD do what they do. And all I got to do, Skip, grab me a couple of rebounds, they throw it to me, I'm rolling to the basket, I flush it home.
Now
the
think
roles
about
are
this.
different.
Think about what he was at the University of Oklahoma. What was the book on him? Couldn't make a shot from more than a foot from the basket.
Right.
And he was, quote unquote, soft. He needed his older brother to be his enforcer and bodyguard, because the book in the Big 12 on Blake Griffin at the University of Oklahoma was rough him up early and he will shrink.
Right.
And then he goes first overall in the Steph draft. I was pushing hard for Steph to go first overall. But Blake goes first to the Clippers, and the next thing I know, he's leaping over the hood of a car and winning the dunk contest. And he is the it kid, right? He is it because he can jump out of the gym.
Yes.
And he struggled because of expectations, because he couldn't live up to that. He fought with Chris Paul. They fell apart. The Lob City fell apart. He bounces around, couldn't live up to expectations of Detroit. And all of a sudden, he winds up with the Nets. And he realizes, wait a second, there's a role for me here. There's it's a sweet little role, but I got to play this. So what does he turn himself into? He's a really good three-point shooter, like a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. He'll make 38% of those, which it works, man. And what else is he? You remember Kurt Rambis? He's turned himself into Kurt Rambis. I know our younger viewers don't know Kurt, but he was just like a hockey player, like an enforcer, like a he just listen.
He
Every
does a
night,
lot of the dirty work.
He does all the dirty work. He leads that team in hustle points because he dives for every loose ball. He fights for every rebound. He scraps, he shoves, he pushes in a good way. He just fights his guts out.
And I think, Skip, at this juncture, a lot of times guys in their career at this point, he's made a ton of money. He made $250 million.
He did.
Now let me try to show him
Let me
win
do
the championship.
this. Yeah, but you got to swallow a bunch of pride to do this, right?
Well, Skip, it's easier when you know you don't possess the same physical abilities as you did 8, 9 years ago. So now you can come in, it's easier for you to say, and then you look around and see what I'm playing with. Damn, KD, Harden, Kyrie. Oh, yeah, I got Bill Roy.
And by the way, that team's deep, too. You look around, you say, we got talent, man.
Right. So, Skip, it's just hard for me. It's hard for me to believe that the Bucks is not gonna. They got to be made of something, Skip. They got to be. I mean, you gave me all the numbers and how when they lose big. But come on, I know Giannis got something in there.
So, there's not even a Jeff Green right now, who was kind of the guts and glue veteran leader this team needed. And they said he was going to try to play, and now it looks like game 4. He's got plantar fasciitis. So there's obviously no Harden and no Jeff Green. And sort of Blake has taken over the Jeff Green role for them. But the point is,